Don't. Just don't.
Have you joined the new Tank Talk Facebook group yet? If you haven't, what are you waiting for? The link is at the top of the description. Go check it out. We're having all kinds of fun in there.
Hey folks, it's John with KGTropicals.com. I know it's been a while since I put out a video. I apologize about that. I'm really trying to get back on track here. It's just been really difficult. The last month or so has been bananas. I'm not going to start reading you a list of all the things that have been going on, but it's been crazy. So who cares about all that? We're back on track now, and I'm going to try to bring you something every week, if not a couple per week. And Lisa's discus videos are not coming to an end, folks. Again, her and I both have been just crazy lately, and it's been hard, but we're going to get her back on track too, don't worry. So all of that is going to be coming, and you're going to be getting at least 1 or 2 per week. That's what I'm going to try to do, and part of that is what we're going to talk about today. So if you've been following along, you know that I started a saltwater tank, my very first saltwater tank. Don't worry, that project, it's been on hold for a couple of weeks, but we're getting right back on track with that. It's sitting right there, and it hasn't changed since the last video. Don't worry, you haven't missed anything. I'm going to get back on track with that this week. So I want to add something else though. I want to add another piece of content to this channel that can be something that can be a lot more consistent. And when I think about what I want to do, there's all kinds of things that I've done, but when I think about the thing that I enjoy the most, what I enjoy making the most, and what you seem to like too, because the videos get quite a bit of views when it comes to comparing it to other videos on my channel, that's the Q&A format. I started it out with KGQandA a long time ago. I mean, it was a couple of years ago, if not more than that, and it evolved into becoming Tank Talk Q&A. And then I started going direct to people's comments in the videos or on Facebook or whatever, and it just became Tank Talk. I mean, but that was a little bit different because I was just picking out stuff that I saw in the comment section, and some of them I goofed on a little bit, and then the others were serious, but that was a ton of fun. It ends up getting a little bit out of control though, because I think there's a lot of people that put up comments just to kind of mess with me, to see if I'll put it on video, and it's all done in fun. I don't think anybody's vicious doing it, but it does get to be a little bit out of control. So instead of doing that, I'm still going to do that, but especially if a good one comes along. But what I want to do is go right back to the format that we had before, where you email me your questions and I will go through them that way and answer your questions every week, respond to comments every week. We'll do it kind of casual, have fun with it instead of trying to be very methodical and scripted and all that kind of stuff. I think it's more fun to just do it laid back. I'm not going to worry about how much time each video is. I'm just going to go for it and have fun. We might do 4, 5, 6 questions in each video. So going to try to bring you one of those every single week. I've got a few questions today just to kind of get it started and, you know, get the ball rolling on this. So, but before I get to those questions, I do want to give you a couple of rules when it comes to the questions, because there's some kind of questions that I'm just not going to answer. And it's not because I'm against it or it goes against my morals or anything like that. It's more annoying than anything else. And let me pull up my thing here so I can make sure I don't say the wrong thing. The very first one, rule number 1, as far as my rules go for these questions that you will send to kgqandA@gmail.com, never changed, it's all the same. First one's going to be no questions about convict cichlids. Now, I know that sounds weird, but you have to understand, you have to be in this seat with me, folks, and understand how many emails and comments and questions I get about convicts. It's absolutely outrageous. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, you should do videos about it's just, I just don't want to. I don't know why. I've had convicts. They're a blast. They're a lot of fun. I've bred them in the past. They're great. I don't have anything against convicts, but I just don't want to answer questions about them. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I'll tell you who does talk about convicts a lot, and he's doing a big breeding not contest, but project about them, is M.A. Fish Guy. Go check out his channel if you want to know information about convicts. That's going to be a better place to go. I don't know. I just get so many emails about convicts. I just don't feel like dealing with them. The next rule is I will not ID your fish. Again, I bet you I've had 1,500 emails, and I'm not exaggerating, over the last 3-4 years of people send me a picture, what is this? And not any of those people ever got an answer because I'm not a fish identification service. If you want to have your fish ID'd by a bunch of people that might know, join our Facebook group. You saw the little promo for it in the beginning of this video. Join the Facebook group. People do it all the time. What is this? And they'll get 20, 30 answers in the first hour as far as what their fish might be. There was just a guy that did it this morning. So head over to the Tank Talk Facebook group, join that, and that's where you'll get your fish ID. I'm not going to do it in these videos. And then this is another one that's going to make you probably a little bit upset. And that is, do not email me and ask me how many fish you can put in your tank. It's too much. Plus, I've done these 2 videos right here when it comes to African cichlids on how to do that or how to calculate how many fish you can put in your tank. Watch those videos. Don't email me and ask me how many fish you can put in your tank. It's just, you start getting into mathematical formulas and all that kind of stuff. If you watch this one, I actually made a math mistake in that video. I corrected myself with text and everything, but still, I mean, that's embarrassing to do something like that. So anytime there's math involved, I don't feel like messing with it. So do not ask me how many fish you can tank. Other than that, there is no limits. Ask me anything you want. That's part of the fun with this. I get all kinds of questions. I guess I would put another rule in there. Don't ask me about saltwater yet, because I don't know yet. So, I mean, even though I'm putting together a saltwater tank, you're not going to get an answer if you ask me about saltwater. All of these, I'm going to go through every single one of these questions. I promise you. Send them to that email address right there. I'm going to go through every single one. I might not use every one. Don't be offended if I don't use your question. But also, don't stop watching the videos, because I might answer your question a month and a half down the road. So, because these things do tend to pile in there pretty quick. So definitely be on the lookout for your question to get answered. Send in your questions now. Again, there's only those rules. Okay, so I wanted to do a couple of quick questions here for you. A couple of, easy, fun things that we can talk about in this episode. And then it'll give you a good idea of, the kind of questions that we're talking about here. And the first one is actually a comment from a video. And it reads, "Hey, if you can answer this, I'd like to know if you can put Oscars with African cichlids. I have a Wait. I forgot. Rule number 4, don't email and ask me if you can put Oscars with African cichlids. Don't. Just don't. But the answer is no. Don't put Oscars with African cichlids. Next question, this one's going to be a fun one. I'm kind of winging it here. This came in on email, actually. Hi, John. A good friend who has been dealing with cichlids told me he never does water changes. He said, does anyone do water changes at Lake Malawi? I do 10% weekly. Okay. Your friend is a moron. And you can tell him the bald guy on YouTube said that. He's an idiot. Come on. I mean, let's use common sense. The earth is the best filter out there. And that is what filters Lake Malawi. You confine your fish to a small little box, an isolated box. There has to be something to filter that. And your filters that you have on your tank don't do it enough. You have to recirculate new water in there. Your friend's an idiot.
Puppy monkey baby.
Okay, and the next one comes from Pete Stokus, I'm not sure. It was a comment on a video. His comment was, awesome video, just like others. Any thoughts about making DIY food, such as vegetables or gel foods? Yeah, I have plenty of thoughts on that. I think it's one of those things that every fish keeper goes through. Every fish keeping hobbyist, not just somebody who has a tank in the corner that they use as decoration, but anybody who takes this hobby this seriously is probably going to go through that DIY food phase. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's a lot of fun. Personally, I don't do it. And it's because I don't think I can make something better than what Hikari and all of these other companies are making. I don't think I'm capable of making something better than that. And I've done it. I've done it in the past when I was feeding arowanas and stingrays and stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun, but at the end of the day, it was kind of like, man, this is a lot of work, and it became kind of like a chore, and it was like, why even mess with it? Now, I will say that there are some fish that I feed real food to, if that makes sense. Like when I had my arowanas, I fed them shrimp that I would buy at the grocery store, and they absolutely devoured it. The stingrays loved that too. That's not DIY food, but that's not fish food either. You know, I mean, it's taking food from the frozen food section at Food Lion or Giant and giving it to the fish. But as far as, you know, blending all of these foods and making, you know, different gels and things like that out of it, yeah, I did it and it was fun, but it's not something to me that I don't think you're necessarily going to make something better for your fish than what the companies make. And it's a huge hassle. And if you think about it, it's one of those things I really don't understand why it's one of those things that happens to every fish keeper, but it really does. You know, I'm going to be honest, as much as I love my fish tanks, they don't take the place of my dogs. I love my dogs more than anything else that's not human. I've never tried to make my dog food, and I don't know anybody who has. I don't know why it happens with fish keepers, but it does. It's part of the deal. It's one of those phases that we all go through. It's fine. If you want to do it, if you enjoy it, do it. There's certainly nothing wrong with it, but to me, I don't think I can produce something that's better than what the big companies out there are putting together. Okay, and the last question, you have to bear with me on this because I have not set this up very well. My computer screen is way too far away. I'm getting old, but I'm not that old, so I have to kind of lean out of here to be able to see these. This one is from Mandy Green. Again, it was a comment on a video. And the question is, it was in my video about how to handle African cichlid aggression. And I listed a bunch of different methods on there on how to do it. And Mandy asks, hi, I'm from the UK. Will the same thing of moving the rocks around work with my Mpimbwe frontosa and C. morii blue dolphin cichlids? No, unfortunately, that is a method that only works in the United States. Of course, I'm joking. Yes, it absolutely will work. You have to look at it like, you know, if you're the high school bully and you move to a new town, you're not going to immediately go into the new town and start bullying everybody. You're not. It's just not going to happen. The new kid is always the one that receives the bullying for the most part. Well, with these fish, it's kind of the same way. You're not necessarily taking your fish from one tank and putting them in another, but you're redoing things. You're moving things around. You're making the environment. You're changing the environment for the fish. It confuses them. Things are new. And if the thing that's making them aggressive is claiming territory, well, you've just taken that territory away, and they have to start all over again trying to figure out where they're going to occupy their space. And then when they do, and things start to break bad again, moving around again. They're always working, they're always thinking, and they're not thinking about beating each other up. I'm joking with it won't work. It only works in the United States. That was just me being fun. Of course it'll work over there. It'll work anywhere in the globe. So there you go. Those are the kind of things that I want to do. In the past, in my Q&A videos, I've gone very much in depth with some of the questions that I got, and I'll probably do that here too, but some questions don't necessarily need that long of an explanation. And that's one of the things that I did back in the day, was I only really answered questions that I could put some real time into. I'm going to change that now. I'm going to answer a lot more than I did in the past. I want it to be something that is a lot more laid back than it was before, and just have fun with it. Again, this is what I enjoy doing the most. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. So thank you for watching. If you want to submit your question now, the email address is big and bold right below me of where to send your questions to. Send them in. Don't be looking for them immediately to get answered, and understand that I'm not going to respond to these emails. So if you have some kind of an emergency and you think that I'm the fish whisperer and I'm going to help you out, don't send it to that email address. I mean, odds are, because everything I have going on, even if you send it to my main email address, you may not get an answer, and I apologize, but I'm going to try to get to all of these on the Q&A. But if you have some kind of emergency, don't send it to that email address, because you're never going to get an answer. Instead, join the Tank Talk Facebook group, join that, and ask away all the questions you want. I answer a lot of questions. I'm on there every single day. I try to be as active as I possibly can, but I mean, I can't be on there 24/7. So a lot of times if you ask your question in there, you'll get an answer from me. But if you don't, there's a bunch of people in there that know their stuff, and they will absolutely help you out. And we've even got some knowledgeable saltwater people in there. So definitely join the group if you have an emergency and you want to get your question answered right away. The description, at the top of the description, I'm going to put the link to the Facebook group. So, and last thing before we go, again, I took the video down where I announced that I had started my vaping channel. I took it down because so many people were mad at me for it. So if you happen to miss that and you're one of those people that was excited about the idea of me starting a vaping channel, the link in the description is right below the Facebook Tank Talk group. It's right there. Check it out. Actually, I'll put it, no, I can't do that because it's going to be in the description to Kicking Butts, which is my vaping channel. Please go over there, check that out, show it some support. I would love to get that thing up off the ground running. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So not going to be doing a commercial for my vaping channel every single day. Don't worry about that. So thank you all so much for watching. Get your questions in now, and I will talk to you again next week.